Alrighty, so UFC Brandon Moreno versus Steve Erceg just took place in Mexico at Elevation, and I'm here to give you my breakdown and reaction of the whole fight card. This is instant reaction, so some of it might be a little bit, I might walk it back in the future, who knows, but yeah, if you're new around here, I do MMA videos and any videos pretty much about anything I'm passionate about, including video games and other stuff of the like, so feel free to hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell if you want my content. 4 to 5 videos a week. It's more like 3 to 4, but you know what? I like relaxing. Anyways, with that being said, let's get into the breakdown of the card. Overall, pretty good card. I actually kind of fucking killed it on picks. We'll get into it, and I'll have my picks, or I'll have my score down at the bottom like I always do at the end of the video, but I kind of fucking killed it this card. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. It's times like these where I wish I was a degenerate gambler, but, it is what it is. It is what it is. Anyways, let's get into the fights. We have Marquel Medeiros, and I actually have notes here. Let me just pull out my notes. Yeah, this fight was shit. Not a good start to the card, not gonna lie. A little worried after this fight, boys. I picked Marquel. I did it because Austin Hubbard sucks. Turns out both suck. I thought this was kind of a robbery. I wasn't paying too much attention, to be fair, but yeah, I don't think Marquel won round, I want to say 1 and 3. I thought Hubbard won it, not gonna lie. They were pretty close. I guess Hubbard did get cut in the end of round 3, and then he got taken down. So you know what, maybe it's justified Marquel won, but a little bit of a interesting situation for the first fight. Anyone who had Austin Hubbard, F in the chat for the boys. But it is what it is, Marquel gets it done. If you are a degenerate gambler and you like gambling on the prelims, I'm going to tell you right now, instant fade, Marquel Medeiros and fucking Austin Hubbard. Don't bet on these fucking bums. Alright, both of them are dog shit. Moving on. Fucking Marquel pulling Gilly, ending up on bottom. I think that's what happened in round 2. Fucking garbage. Anyways, moving on. Jamal Emmers versus Gabriel Miranda. Now this was like the timeline that's supposed to happen. When you look at fights and you're like, oh yeah, I don't know, what's a good example? Like a dominant grappler like Renato Moicano against like a guy who fucking has terrible takedown defense or something like that. Like the Benoit Saint Denis fight, stuff like that. Where it's just like, yeah, you can see where the weakness is, and it's kind of just obvious the path of victory. Jamal Emmers just needed to go out there and land a 1-2, and he did land that 1-2. Now, what I will say, this does not make me hop on the Jamal Emmers train. There's some people genuinely really high on Jamal Emmers. I've seen it all week, and I'm going to keep it a buck. The guy's like 35 now as well. He's no young buck, as they say. Nate the Train still owns this kid, all right? Let's not forget, right? Nate the Train, baby. But it was a good fight, to be fair. Jamal Emmers was popping off. A little bit of a early scramble in the beginning. Gabriel Miranda, Eddie Wineland-looking motherfucker, decided to, scramble early. Try to get it was like a reverse rear naked choke. I don't even know what you call it. It was a really weird choke he was going for from being on Jamal Emmers' belly. He was trying to fucking get in there and get the choke going, but yeah, he couldn't get it done. Jamal Emmers just landed a 1-2, put him out. It is what it is. Moving on. I picked Jamal Emmers, by the way. Moving on. Rafa Garcia versus Vince from Hell, Piquel. This fight had me a little worried for the rest of the card, not gonna lie, because Rafa Garcia did not win a 30-27, despite what some of the judges' scorecards might tell you. This was, I'd give it a 29-28, but it was very fucking close. Wouldn't have been surprised if it was a split. If they gave it to Vince, I would have been like, okay, a little justified, But I'm still I think Rafa Garcia probably still would have won or should have won the fight. Yeah, Rafa Garcia got it done. He was round 2 was very, very clear Vince. I don't know how the fuck they gave it to Rafa Garcia. Round 1 was very close. Round 3 I think was a little bit more clear for Rafa Garcia, but even then was still close. The only one who really had a clear round was Vince. and he didn't even get that round on the scorecards. So, you know, a little bit of a Mexican bias, I guess you'd say, in Mexico City. But sucks for Vince McKell. He's got a bad narrative around him because he is very soy and he cries whenever somebody talks bad about him. It is what it is, brother. You know, you just got to take criticism. I don't know you're 45 years old, but sometimes when you reach 46, you know, you just got to go out there and you got to give no fucks, you know, because eventually when you turn 47, your chin's going to be gone, you're going to get knocked out, and by the time you're 48, it's, you know, you just got to retire. So, happy for Vince McKell at 49 years old. You know, he's still got okay cardio. Don't like the fact that he parries at every single strike, because if he fights a decent level boxer, he's going to get knocked out like that. You know, so, you know, 50-year-old Vince McKell gets it done. Never mind. He lost. He doesn't get it done, but he didn't look bad out there. You know, if I was Vince McKell, I'd actually be pretty proud of that performance, being 42 years old, being such a heavy underdog and clearly winning a round and being robbed. You know, I'd raise my chin high. Didn't win the fight, but you know what I mean. Like, you did well. What are the striking numbers saying? Yeah, you even outlanded total strikes. And I know that doesn't mean shit, but you know what I mean. It's something to be like, yeah, you know, it was a robbery in my career, you know? Like, when you're looking at your grandkids, when you're, you know, 51 years old, and you're looking at your grandkids, and you're like, yeah, I was in the UFC, and I was whooping this young buck, and, you know, even though Rafa Garcia isn't that young, but, you know, yeah, they robbed me, you know? So, I respect Vince McKell for this performance. I don't think he's actually, like, bad. Like, he really isn't that bad, to be honest. But he's just got bad narratives around him, and I think he's got, like... He's one of those people that I think he's mentally defeated in there sometimes, you know? He won't, like, close rounds because he probably already in his head is thinking, like, man, they're gonna fucking rob me or something, right? Of the score, not, like, rob him in Mexico or Brazil, wherever, right? But yeah, anyways, moving on. Lupi Godinez versus Julia Palostri. The coin failed me, what can I say? Now, some people used to pick Dr. Shout out to We Want Picks. Some people use MMA logic like MMA Guru, Lucas Tracy, Bedtime MMA, and I think Ronin MMA. I've been watching a lot of his content. Don't really know if he does breakdowns, but you know what I'm talking about. I use the tried and true method of the coin, baby. Some people were really high on Julia Palostri. Don't care why. Don't watch women's MMA fight. They are dog shit. Yeah, they're fucking terrible. Actually, like, don't understand how anyone watches that and enjoys it. But, hey, you know, some people enjoy watching paint dry, I guess. But, yeah. Lupi wins because she laid on her for 3 rounds and Julia didn't know how to get up. You know? Lupi laid on side control and landed elbows. Yes, I did actually watch the fight. So you don't ever have to. Believe me. Don't ever go back and watch this fight. If you want the takeaway, Lupi laid on her for 3 rounds. That's it. At elevation. That's it. Got pieced up in the 3rd. That's it. Moving on. Christian Rodriguez versus Manuel Costa. Now, this is where I was like, oh, shit. Looking rough. Because I picked C-Rod. I don't think it was robbed or anything. Marquel did really, really good. And, or Melquizel. Sorry. I don't know why I said Marquel. Costa did really good in round 1 and 2. I thought he clearly won a 2-1. Some people were saying it was a robbery. You know, but I think it was very justified. I thought it was very valid. Significant strikes are actually a lot closer. I do think C-Rod was way closer to finishing Costa, even though Costa did have that submission attempt, I want to say in round 2. I want to say round 2, where he almost got like a... It was almost like an anaconda slash Darce in a way, kinda. But he just didn't have the right angle. C-Rod got out and did C-Rod things. And yeah, C-Rod is just C-Rod. Like, he comes back in the later rounds, but, you know, if he's against a really high-paced, dangerous dude, he's going to struggle in the first 2 rounds. But the 3rd round is almost guaranteed C-Rod every single fight. So, you know, the plus 3.5 if you're a degenerate gambler, it isn't bad for C-Rod. Killed all the prospects and can't seem to get past the fucking unranked bums of the division. A little interesting there, C-Rod. Anyways, moving on. Jose Medina versus Ateba Guatar. Think he's Cameroonian? Hey, we're back, baby. They're making the comeback in middleweight. What can I say, you know? The new Jared Cannonier is on his way, alright? This young buck don't give a fuck, alright? he fucking pieced up Jose Medina. Jose Medina also came in, like, thinking he was the main character. I think it's the best way to describe it. He's, like, dancing like he's fucking Johnny Walker at the beginning. Gets in the cage. Guattari lands every single punch. And Jose is just, like, on the chin. I'm not saying, like, oh, the knuckle tagged him right near his temple. You know, oh, right on the forehead. I'm talking, like, Guattari was landing right on the fucking chin. And Jose's just smiling. You know, oh, it didn't hurt. Laughing and everything. Knee up the middle, puts him down. And he eats shit, you know? A lot of people, I think, were a little interested in Jose Medina. Just because Jose Medina was tough as shit in his Zachary Reese. I think it was Zachary Reese performance. But, you know, as we found out. Hey, what can I say? The, you know. The brother gets it done, if you know what I mean. You know, he's young, too. This guy's, like, 22. Like, this guy could be something. You know what I mean? This guy is like, buddy, you put him with Shara Bullet, you know, like, ooh, matchups. But I'm just saying, like, I know it's early. We got to see more, but he did finish like a tough, fat dude, to be fair, right? But this is on level with, like, you know, finishing Tai Tuivasa, you know, or finishing like a Fluffy Hernandez via TKO, you know? It's like that sort of performance where you finished a fat fuck, you know? But they are, like, kind of tough, if you know what I mean. They have the reputation for being tough. So, really good finish. Sick-ass finish. Excited to see what happens with Tepa Guattari. I'll be watching this guy. You know, he's looking like a good prospect. Now, he is young, so he'll probably make mistakes, and there's probably going to be a fight where he just gets fucking laid on. My MMA senses are tingling that he's just going to get fucking Magomedov'd at some point, you know? Yeah, I don't know who's going to do it, but I'm already sensing it through the MMA powers. You know, the MMA gods are sending me the message that he will get laid on one day, and he will suffer a loss in the UFC, but he's looking fucking good at 22. Moving on to the main card. Also, just a quick thing, Joe Pyfer pulled out day of. Fuck we doing, body bags? We get a little too upset that fucking Bedtime MMA is making, you know, a video about him not being able to have a body, or he be an officer who doesn't have a body cam on, just to be that guy, you know what I mean? You know, what are we doing, Joe Pyfer? A little sniffle, too much for you? Oh no, you gotta take antibiotics. You're against a fat fucking Kelvin Gastelum. You know? Just fucking... He's a ginger, so I'll defend him for now, until he loses. If he does lose to Kelvin... Bro, Kelvin's not even going to be able to make weight now. You're asking this guy to make weight fucking 2 weeks in a row? You know? Within a month, he's got to make weight twice? Not happening. Kelvin's definitely going to show up. Probably his walk around weight, which is probably in the 300s. You know, let's be honest, the fat fuck. So, maybe we'll never see this fight. Who knows? Maybe it gets away and we get Joe Pyfer something else. Yeah. What the fuck are we doing, Joe? Lock in, brother. Sean Brady literally laid out a fucking blueprint on how to beat Kelvin Gastelum, and you're over here pulling out because you had the sniffles in the morning. Come on, brother. I get it, it's Mexico, though. You don't want to risk it at Elevation in a 3-round fight with Fat Fuck, who had a Hall of Fame fight with Israel Adesanya. Anyone else think that fight's dog shit? Listen, I'm a newer MMA fan, but man, watching those highlights and watching that fight back, it's like, Adesanya, how are you struggling with this over fucking weight, lightweight in front of you? You know what I mean? How are you getting wobbled by him? The signs were always there, man. Should have picked him Avov. Anyways, David Martinez versus Simon Oliveira. Pick David Martinez. Finally, the timeline's being oh, wait. I just completely skipped Kevin Borjas. I'll get into that after. David Martinez, Simon Oliveira. Yeah, finally, we got a justified favorite. You know, we've seen these minus 500s for the past, like, 3 weeks get shit on. Jordan Vucenic. That other fucking guy on the card who was a minus 500. Can't fucking remember his name. Then there was the card before, which, you know, fucking hell. There were so many, honestly. Alizu was kind of a heavy favorite, but, you know, not a crazy one. Blackshear almost lost, and he was a heavy favorite. You know, round 1 was looking rough. Kevin Vallejos. Barcelos, Prince Nibiero. I'm just... I think we all know it's just been shit for the past few weeks in terms of these heavy favorites. But finally, one of them showcases why they're a heavy favorite. So I'm happy for David Martinez. Looked kind of good. Simon Oliveira sucks. I mean, it is what it is. Ronaldo Rodriguez versus Kevin Borjas. I went with Kevin Borjas. Now, I will say, from every MMA channel that I did my rounds on, I didn't watch all of them, of course. I missed the Running Mouth. I missed the... I don't watch fucking Joey. I'll never watch that fat fuck. But I miss a lot of I missed a lot of the other MMA channels, I'll be honest, but from what I saw, everyone was picking Ronaldo Rodriguez. Some people were like, "Oh, well, Kevin Borjas just sucks." I had the same opinion, man. I'm not gonna sit here and say like Kevin Borjas. I fucking told you so, guys. You guys should have been all over Kevin Borjas. Fucking take my picks, all right? No, it's just, Kevin Borjas isn't, like, terrible. He is, man, it's so hard to break down Kevin Borjas. He is dog shit. But there's moments where it's like, he has a solid base. He's just missing, like, a finishing potential, or elite striking, or great takedowns, or takedown defenses, He's missing, like, he's like if you took Moreno and lowered every single one of Moreno's stats by, like, -10. You know what I mean? Or maybe a -25. His striking's not that great, but it's okay. It's passable. Grappling's not that great, but it's okay. It's passable. Power, not insane, but it's passable. Chin, not really that good either. It's passable, Ronaldo thinks he's the fucking main character, and he's a clip farmer. You're not Huffy, bro. You're not Mauricio Huffy. You're not Gene Silva. You're not Protes, alright? You're no fighting nerd. Get the fuck out of here, alright? Ronaldo fucking Rodriguez. Once I saw him almost get flatlined by Ode Osborne in the first round, and almost, like, hey man, there's a good argument Ode Osborne won that fight. Ode Osborne fucking sucks. His chin is bad, his striking isn't great, he's got very little setups. Yeah, he hits hard. That's it, And Ronaldo was having problems with that. I just couldn't trust him with Kevin Borjas. This guy's had 3 wins in the UFC. All of them are to fucking cans. Like, it was... Who was it? It was... His last fight, UFC 300, it was Ode Osborne. Dennis Bondar. Like, come on, bruh. Come on, bruh. He's a blue belt. And, listen, I know there's a lot of people who are like, he likes grappling, bro. Sure, but he's still ass. I like grappling. Like, jiu-jitsu grappling. I know, it's a little, yeah, I get it, But, I like the idea of jiu-jitsu grappling, and I've grappled before. I've dabbled. But I'm not fucking good at it. Like, I'm good at surviving on the ground. I'm not good at fucking taking people's backs and choking them out. He's not doing that to Kevin Borjas, And Kevin Borjas dropped him in round 1. Almost flatlined him again. Ronaldo Rodriguez fucking sucks. When you have no chin at flyweight, you will not be anything. Some people have passable chins. Joshua Van, great boxer, has a questionable chin. Steve Urseg, great, kind of almost everywhere, doesn't have a great chin, Ronaldo's just not tough. And, like, he's a clip farmer, man. Like, he's doing somersaults when he's getting wobbled. He's fucking doing, like, jump lead head kicks 1 foot in front of his opponents. Are you brain dead? Like, is your brain already mush from the weight cut? I don't understand. At least Kevin Borjas isn't that brain dead. So Kevin Borjas got it done. I thought it was clear. I don't think there's any controversy here. Kevin Borjas keeps his job. Also, that was another reason why I picked Kevin. These guys are, like, these are the bottom of the barrel. I hate predicting these fights. But, when one of them has their job on the line and actually shows moments of being good, and the other one's a clip farmer who just gets fucking wobbled everywhere and thinks he's the main character, I'm going with the guy who's a little bit more desperate for a win. If he's up on rounds, he'll keep it safe, But yeah, Kevin Borjas, the little Honey Barcelos, the small Edson Barbosa, somehow smaller than Edson Barbosa, and Harney Barcelos because he's a flyweight, and Harney Barcelos is the bantamweight version. But You know, Kevin Borjas isn't like, he's not dog shit, okay? But he is like bad. He's unranked flyweight. He's not going to be ranked. You know, that's my opinion. Moving on. Raul Rosas Jr. might as well be fucking Raul Nurmagomedov at this point versus Vince Morales. Boring ass fight. I respect Vince for taking this fight. Yeah, Raul's just boring as shit. Vince almost got a submission, but, you know, the Crimson Chin was just extended. And he has that buff where he gets a 50% resistance on choking attempts. So, you know, 50% of the time, if you try to choke him out, it just doesn't work because of his chin's buff. Unfortunately, Vince Morales couldn't get it done. I picked Raul Rosas. I think everyone fucking picked Raul Rosas. He is boring as fuck. If he didn't have his Chi Wee Wees thing, he would be booed every single time he walks into there. You know? Smushed face. Don't mean a dog on the guy, but brother, do fucking something. Alright? Just try a submission. You know? Try to get the back position. You know what I mean? Stop laying in full mount and fucking side control for 3 rounds straight. Alright? Just clean it up, brother. Anyways, moving on. Edgar Chairez versus CJ Vergara. The feature fight of the evening. Edgar Chairez submits CJ Vergara. Called it perfectly. Boys, I think I'm evolving in the MMA space. My picks are... My third eye is opening up here. You know, the beanie is giving me power. The basement that I'm dwelling in is slowly becoming the base of operations for all my picks. You know, I can see the future sometimes. You know? And this was the case where I just saw the future. Edgar Chairez gets it done by a rear naked choke. It was, not a rear naked choke, sorry. It was more of a, what's it called? A neck crank, I guess is more accurate. But it wasn't under the chin. CJ Vergara just has a fucking soy boy incel chin. There's not, like, even if you're on the chin, you're under the chin. You know what I mean? Like, he doesn't really have a chin. You know what I mean? So, yeah, Edgar Chairez gets it done. Happy for Edgar. He was talking about, like, he was crying on camera. Guru made a little bit of an insensitive joke. Because, bro, decided to take a picture right after he was crying. And he looked happy. And Guru just looked off and wasn't really paying attention. Kind of shitting on Edgar Chairez for crying. Even though he was crying because his dad passed away, and his dad sold, I think, or it might have been grandfather that sold his truck, so that he could be in the UFC, so that Edgar could be in the UFC, and now that he's here making a living, you know, I'm happy for Edgar Chairez. Unfortunate for a family passing, you know. I think we've all had family members pass, and it's, you know, dark times, so I'm happy for Edgar to get this win. You know, let's try not to cry a little too much, though, on the mic, you know. Clean it up a little bit, just saying. You know, I get it. I get it. But, you know, Edgar, you gotta keep that aura. You gotta keep that Rambo aura going on, you know? Fucking show up with, like, a Nerf, fucking, what is that? An L95-8? Is that what it was called? An LSAT from, fucking Black Ops 2? Show up with a prop version of that and just start fucking laying out ammo into the crowd, you know, BB gun ammo, you know, Rambo style with the fucking bandoliers around your neck and shit, you know what I mean? Or around your back, you know? Get some of that aura back, brother. But I respect it. You know, Edgar Chairez seems like a genuine good dude, so I'm happy for his win. Just you know, try to keep a little bit more composure. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. You know? No, I'm not shitting on the guy. Just advice, you know? Anyways, moving on. Manuel Torres versus Drew Dober. This, if you remove the coin flip, guys, I only got 2 fights wrong. This was the only other fight I got wrong, other than the C-Rod fight. Arguably a robbery. No, I'm joking. This fight was, I'm gonna be honest, the closer it got to, the fight, I was getting really worried for Drew Dober, because I start thinking, like, man, he's 36. He has been to a lot of wars. He did get whooped by a featherweight and Gene Silva. You know, Gene Silva is a savage, but still, it's like, eesh, not a good look. Short note, not a good look. You know what I mean? Lay off. He likes to go to war. He likes to lead with his chin. And what do you know? He gets put out because he leads with his chin. He gets put out. One of the latest stoppages I think I've ever seen. He to be fair, was hugging the ankle, and he does, you know, he is the Crimson Chin for a reason. So part of his brain was probably still active, while the other part of his brain was getting flashbacks from every time he got fucking knocked out in a fight. And the ref called the fight, and Drew Dober gets up, pushes the ref away, gets instantly into a stance, and starts walking down Manuel Torres. Bro had flashbacks, and he's just like, nah. I'm sorry, man. It's just funny to think of. You know, it was like a Pereira moment where he pushes away the ref after getting groin shotted. He's like, nah, ref, watch this shit real quick. You know? Drew Dober gets the ref off of him, and he just starts walking him down. He's getting ready, and he's like, what? The fight's over? Bro, man, the PTSD is going to be real for Drew Dober. You know, they might cut him. Is that 3 in a row? What is that? Hanato, Gene, Manuel. Ooh. I'd keep him around just because he is Drew Dober. Early stoppage guy. No, I'm joking. Yeah, he did get put out. This was a pick'em fight. I don't think it was a bad pick. At the end of the day, this was going to be Manuel Torres round 1 because that's how he finishes every fight. Or it was going to be Drew Dober by decision. That's how this fight was going to go. I was on the Drew Dober decision side. I was hoping he'd tough it out. Couldn't tough it out. Manuel Torres doesn't gain any aura, in my opinion, after this. It's kind of just like, okay, you caught a 36-year-old broken Drew Dober, you know? Guy's been broken for his last few fights. It is what it is, you know? Yeah, kind of sucks in a way, because it's not like we can be like, oh, Manuel Torres is this high technical striker now. Ignacio Bahamanda still fucking owns him. You know, I'm not even convinced Ignacio's like a good prospect yet. Literally because fucking Jalen Turner just put his head into guard and literally elbowed and then got instantly submitted because he lead elbowed while being in the guard. That's like Jiu-Jitsu don't do 101. Absolute brain dead move. But yeah, happy for Manuel Torres. Hopefully he does actually be something. We do need some mix-up in the lightweight division. You know, Gaethje, Dustin Poirier, love them. They've just been like the guards for too long. You know, Dan Hooker's going to be a fucking killer for a while. Even though I think he's around Dustin Poirier's age. He's got to be like 34, 35 by now, right? He's got to be somewhere up there. But regardless, good win from Manuel Torres. That'll be in his highlight reels. But yeah, moving on to the main event. Brandon Moreno versus Steve Erceg. Oh, actually, before we get into this, I did actually have in my notes, 13 of those 15 13 of the 15 finishing shots from Manuel Torres, to be fair, and this might have contributed to that PTSD moment we saw from Drew Dober. They were just straight up back of the head shots. Like, they were literally hammer fist to the back, like, literally just hammer fist straight to the back of the head. Just saying. Just saying. If they would have said a DQ, I would not be surprised, alright? It was just straight back of the head. Ref didn't give a fuck. I think it was Jason Herzog, whoever that guy with the beard is. I think it's Jason Herzog. I could be wrong, though. Can't remember his name. Anyways. Normally shows up with, like, those Viking braided beard. Actually, kind of a Giga Chad beard. Questionable stoppage, though, brother. Clean it up. Anyways. Moving on. Main event. Brandon Moreno versus Steve Erceg. I think I called it perfectly. It's just going to be Brandon Moreno up by a 3-2, 4-1 arguable decision. And that's kind of what it was. Some people are saying Steve won the fight. You're just blatantly fucking wrong. I think worst case scenario, it's Brandon Moreno. 3-2. We're absolute worst case scenario. Round 1, clear Brandon Moreno. Just outlanded. Landed the better shots. Wobbled him. Almost dropped Steve. Actually... Nah, it was a stumble. It wasn't a drop, but it was pretty clear Brandon Moreno. Round 2, close, I think, was an arguable round for Steve Erceg. That's where it's like the 3-2's justified, in my opinion. But I think Brandon Moreno is just landing cleaner. And I noticed, probably not as clear, but in round 2, there was a mark on the left side of Steve Erceg's eye. And it was very clearly like, that's a black eye when he wakes up. You know, so I thought it was a cut at first, but I think it just ended up being like a really bad bruise. Moreno took fucking no damage. And I mean this sincerely. Steve Erceg is not bad. Genuinely not bad for flyweight. He's actually a good, like, flyweight prospect in a way. I know he's lost 3 fights in a row. They're good fights, to be fair. But it is, like, Steve landed good, clean strikes. None of them cut Brandon Moreno. None of them were, like, on the button, you know what I mean? Like, none of them were those clean body kick liver shots. A lot of the body kicks landed on the chest. Not really where you want a body kick to land. That's like worst case scenario. Ideally, you even land on the elbow to like wear out the elbow, especially at elevation. But, you know, Steve Erceg just wasn't throwing with intent enough in round 2, where I think Brandon Moreno was at least like, you know, getting close with that right hand, landing a few times where it's like, oh my God, Steve is getting a little stung there, you know? Where Moreno, every time Steve landed clean, and you heard it audibly, every time like Moreno got hit clean, it was just like, bro didn't fucking move. Round 3, I thought was a clear Steve round. I believe that was also the round where he popped off. He almost like, man, there was a few times where it's like, how the fuck did Brandon Moreno take that shot? Brandon Moreno's been in a shit ton of wars. He got hit 600 times by Brandon Royval not too long ago. You know? The Amir Albazi fight was a fucking fraudulent Amir Albazi. I don't know what the fuck happened with that guy. But, yeah, like, Brandon Moreno genuinely has been in a lot of wars. Don't know how. He might have the best scar tissue of all time, where it just does not actually prop up, you know? For someone who's been in so many wars, especially at flyweight, I'm talking high-paced, volume-striking fights, you know, or really strong fucking heavy hitters like a Davison Figueiredo. He doesn't wear damage, like, at all in this fight, you know? Maybe that's a testament to Steve has, you know, pillow hands or something, but there's a few times where Steve lands and I'm just like, holy fuck, how is Moreno not even wobbled by this? You know what I mean? There was one combo, and at the end of the day, this was a case of, so round 3, I give to Steve. Round 4 and 5, I give clear Moreno. So I think 4-1, 1-2, 4-5 for Moreno, or you give 1-4-5 for Moreno. That's how I scored it. But this was ultimately a case where Steve was very patient, and then he'd go in with a big combo. Great combo. Hey, when he gets into the pocket and he lets his hands go and he's throwing those uppercuts into the hook, into another uppercut, into an overhand fucking hook over the top. Buddy, oh, it's literally so clean to watch. Jesus Christ. He must have flipped those pizzas real good at Pizza Pizza, let me tell you. You know, Pizza Hut was happy to have him. You know, Boston Pizza gave this guy fucking 5-star reviews as a coworker. Anyways. Yeah, Brandon Moreno was just doing a lot more 1-2s. And not just in terms of like a, you know, jab cross. I'm talking like he'd step in, leg kick, heavy, you know? He'd cross into an overhand right over the guard, you know, and land flush. You know, he'd shoot a takedown, get a takedown, you know? But overall, it was Brandon Moreno doing a lot more blitzes that landed clean. Sometimes he missed, to be fair, but he'd do a lot more, and these are not the correct numbers, by the way. What the fuck are they smoking? What? Who the fuck scored this? Yo, fire whoever made these numbers. Jesus. Didn't secure a takedown? Are we watching the same fight? Brandon dunked him in round 5 and took him down in round 4. Yo, whoever made these numbers, genuinely, Google, fire that person, straight up. You know, maybe it's a UFC guy who made these numbers, but regardless, bullshit fucking decision. Or bullshit fucking numbers. Like, what is this? This is blasphemy. Anyways, got a little sidetracked, but yeah. It was ultimately Brandon Moreno just doing better blitzes. He's almost like if you took Sean Woodson style with the flicky fucking, you know, Brandon Moreno's not like a good boxer or a good kickboxer or a good Muay Thai guy, but he is just good everywhere and tough as shit. You know, to beat Moreno, you have to outgrind him. Steve was never really going to outgrind him. Could probably scramble him, but Steve is almost the opposite, where he's really good at almost everything, even if you're trying to grind against him. Like, I think a good example is like a Pantoja fight, where that was arguably Pantoja's closest decision. Bro, these fucking, I blame Guru for this too, fucking making the narrative that Steve Erceg was robbed on that championship fight. Now we got all these Steve Erceg fans saying he's getting robbed in every fight. Fucking bum, bro. He got slept by Kai Kart France. Alright, guys? People forget, man. But anyways, yeah, Steve is like good everywhere, but he just isn't tough. You know? And I don't mean that in an offensive way. His chin isn't just great, you know? Just saying. his body is looking really hittable. When Moreno landed those fucking body shots early in the rounds, he stopped later on, but man, when he's landing early, you could see Urseg like wincing, getting away really fast because he didn't want to get hit again. You know, he's very chinny, he stands very tall, and he's always got like the incel fucking neck build. You know what I mean? Like he's always propped in his neck, you know? He's almost like too tall for the flyweight division, if that makes any sense. But, yeah, Moreno's got, like, a Sean Woodson style in terms of his flicky hands, trying to fucking make you think he's doing something, trying to showboat mid-combination. But it's mixed in with the style of, like, Robert Whittaker's blitzes. You know what I mean? So, yeah. Brandon Moreno gets it done. 4-1 decision, clear. I thought it was 3-2 at worst case, but 4-1, I think, was clear. Brandon Moreno, I still think he has this problem where he leaves rounds way too fucking close. Because don't get me wrong, there are a lot of close... Like, 4 of the 5 rounds are arguably pretty close. Just being honest. But I do think they were clear Moreno. It's just like, you know, if Steve landed 1 or 2 more clean combinations, we're talking like a Steve round in round 2. You know, we're talking a Steve round clear in round 4. You know what I mean? If he stuffed the takedown and landed like a body kick or something... That's a clear round 4, Steve. You know? But, yeah, Moreno has this problem in every single fight. First 2 minutes, he does the opposite of what you're supposed to do. First 2 minutes, he's blitzing in. And then for the final 3, he's like waiting, getting hit, okay, getting hit, okay, trade, okay, trade again, okay. Final minute, okay, I'm just going to stare at you, walk you down. Now I'm going to run away from strikes, get hit a little bit, okay, you know. And he just makes it look way too close. So... yeah, don't think Moreno's gonna fucking beat Pantoja any day, you know? Other Brandon fucking owns this kid. You know, Royval kind of owns Moreno, I'm not gonna lie. But, yeah, that was my breakdown of the whole card. Last thing I wanted to say, can we just cut commentary, please? Can we just have a channel where, like, there's no fucking commentary? I'm so tired of Joe Rogan. Not Joe Rogan. Fucking Daniel Cormier. Fucking John Anik. Haha. Yeah. Steve Urseg with that jab. Next 2 minutes, man, Brandon Moreno's just outlanding and really piecing up Steve Urseg. Okay, 1 round, it's, you know, Moreno's really changed his game plan and he's really done good, you know? And another thing about Moreno, you know, he's training at this gym and he's really improving. He said he put it on a masterclass. Next round, it's literally like the biggest glaze for Urseg. Oh, man, look at Urseg landing those combinations. And he's landing good every time. Oh, look at that jab. Oh, and he sucks to take that. Like, brother, can we have some sort of fucking consistency? I get it. They need to make narratives constantly in close fights where it's like, oh, shit, if Moreno gets robbed, we got to make it, you know, seem like we were always on Urseg's side so we don't sound like idiots on the air, live on TV. But, brother, like, fuck, it's annoying, man. Just... always with John Anik's fucking antics. Haha. Yeah. Haha. Haha. You know? It's just like, shut the fuck up. Just watch the fight. Say what's going on in the fight. I'm tired of these, oh yeah, fucking wrestling's really good here. And, you know, oh, if he shot a takedown right now, oh, he really needs to, you know, he's getting outstruck right now. He needs to do this. Shut the fuck up. Just say that, like, oh, you know, like, genuinely, Ronin MMA. MMA guru, Lucas Tracy, before he retired. Fucking, I don't know about Joey. I've never watched that fat fuck stream. Who else? MMA holes. Fucking, who else we got? There's got to be others. Who are other streams I've watched? Just go in the live category, mute the fucking stream that you're watching legally. Don't worry. I'm with you, brother. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. And just fucking listen to them. Because they will genuinely be like, oh, he's landing the bombs here. He's landing this. Oh, big takedown here, you know? You know? It's way better when you're watching, like, a MMA YouTuber. Any MMA YouTuber. Literally fucking any MMA YouTuber is way more objective than these fucking absolute imbeciles on the fucking desk, alright? Sitting there, NPC dialogue type shit. Oh, yeah, landing those good low kicks. Steve lands 1 low kick in the whole round of round 2. You know, Steve's looking really good. Oh, look at that damage is being worn on Moreno's fucking calf. Shut up, DC. You fat fuck, alright? Get the gravy off the canvas, alright? Put the chocolate muffin down, Alright, put the butter tarts away. Okay, fat fuck. And just say what's going on, brother. Jesus. Fuck, man. The biases that these commentaries have. Jesus Christ. Unreal. But yeah, that's my recommendation, by the way. Just watch an MMA YouTube channel while you're watching the fights. It's 10 times better. Trust me, brother. 10 times better. But yeah, that's my breakdown and instant reaction of the whole fight card. If you made it all the way to the end of this video, I want to thank you for watching. Friendly reminder, I do breakdowns on every single fight card, so stay tuned for Emmett versus Lerone Murphy. What are we looking here? Pat Sabatini, bro, that guy's getting smoked. Okay, not like a horrible... okay. Not like a dog shit card. Kind of not great card looking. But yeah, this was overall a pretty okay card. A lot of weird decisions and overall very predictable, but that's been my breakdown and reaction. So yeah, made it all the way to the end of this video. I want to thank you for watching, and as always, I hope you have jawline check. Ooh, a good day.